Hello, everyone, and welcome to the lucky episode number 13 of Unleash Your Inner Badass. And today we're going to talk about something very interesting because we hear all the time from other people that are saying and actually using it as excuse, well, this is just who I am. This is just my personality. I'm just too shy. I'm just introverted. I'm just not lucky. I'm just this and I'm just that. This is because of my ADHD. This is because of my, I don't know, lack of focus. Or this is because I'm an overthinker. Blah, 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 blah. And we use our personality traits as excuse of why, or we create in a story why we cannot be successful or why we can't do this or that. So today we decided to tell you that your personality is actually not who you are. Your personality, it's a coping mechanism that you created probably by the age you were 5. It was already formed, and you created it in order to fit in, to survive in your environment, and just to, you know, have a easier life. So
Mhm.
your personality is actually not who you really are. And the good part about that each personality, so there's different personality traits and types, and each one has its benefits that's actually serving you, and it also has downfalls or whatever you call it, those traits that don't serve you. And the good part is we can change those traits that don't serve you any longer because you created them when you were, let's say, 2, 3, 4, 5 years old. You're not 5 years old anymore, but you're still wired the same way and use the same personality traits as you did when you were 5, but they no longer serve you. So you can actually rewire yourself and get rid of personality traits that no longer serve you and keep the ones that still do.
As you were talking, I had a realization that I actually I did this. So I was incredibly shy right through school, like painfully shy. I was a quiet mouse. Um, I was shy. I was. I'd rather just hide in the background than be noticed. And um, I got to university and I thought, I don't want to be like this. I don't want to be the quiet mouse. I want to make friends. I want to make lots of friends. I want to have fun. I did have way too much fun because I failed first year, but I found the fun side of me. I found the extrovert in me in first year, and I had a lot of fun and I made a lot of friends. And in fact, Wayne says like he was a little bit scared of me. He thought I was like a wild child. Okay. He did.
You
But I
unleashed
did
your
that because
extroverted self.
yes, I since then I've become more introverted again. Since then I've crawled a little bit back into my shell. But I realized at the time that if I was gonna make like lots of friends and meet new people, where I didn't know people, because I'd been at the same school from grade naught, so from 4 until 17. Same school, same friends. So it was just very comfortable. And I suddenly realized I'm gonna go to university and I'm gonna be like, I don't know anybody. I don't know anybody. And so either I'm going to not meet anybody and be a shy, quiet mouse, or I'm going to find that extrovert inside of me, and I did. So this, I when you as you were talking, I thought I've actually done this.
Yeah,
Um,
I had the same epiphany. So let us know if you guys have done this
yeah.
before. Like if you've thought, you know what, I don't want to be like this anymore. So when Nate and I first got married, Nate, my husband, is very organized and things have to be in a certain place. And I'm good at like doing a lot of things and like getting a lot of things done, but I used to make a lot of messes in the process, right? So like there was no organization. So and this was just a way that I coped. I guess maybe I didn't know any better. Like it made total sense
You were
after.
just a bulldozer. You just go.
Yeah, like just like, just do, and the tornado would happen behind me, right? And then I would go clean up the tornado kind of thing. And so when we first got married, it really bothered Nate that like dishes were left in the sink. And this is very simple, a very simple thing, right? Like,
Oh, I
and
wish anybody in my house will be bothered when dishes
right.
are left in the sink.
So Nate was very bothered by dishes left in the sink. And so he was like, listen, if we just like clean our dishes when we're finished and throw them in the dishwasher, then they don't stack up and you don't have to fill the sink full of water, put the dish soap in and wash all the dishes, right? Like he's like, and he had this whole explanation of the reason that this made way more sense to just wash your dishes and put them in as you were going, right?
That sounds like me.
Right. So, this is a huge epiphany because I was in this pattern of like, just throw everything in and I'll do that later, right? Create the tornado and clean it up later, to teaching our children and myself at the same time, wash your dishes when you're finished and put them in the dishwasher, right? So now it's very rare that there's dishes anywhere in my house that, are just like dirty and sitting there. So just something simple to like compare to, right? Like something simple,
Yeah.
a way that I was being. And then I was like, okay, this, yeah, I created a new habit. And sometimes that habit goes thrown out the door if, like, I don't know, there's a pan that needs to soak or whatever. If there's a pan or something sitting in the sink, then everybody just leaves their dishes in there. Like literally, I'm not even kidding.
It's like a permission to.
Yeah, it's like permission to not do your dishes. But if everything's out of the sink, then everybody plays along. So anyway, just something to go off that's not business related as well.
But I'd love to. I'm sorry, I'd love to hear from you. Like, what personality traits or what personality traits do you find are not serving you right now in growing your business? Can you identify the personality traits that are not serving you? Because I know for me, I went back to the shy person. I went back to the introvert. And so when I had to do live video, I mean, if you'd asked me just to go live and just start talking about stuff that I haven't prepared 4 years ago, I would have been pooping my pants.
Literally.
Okay. Side note, no, I'm not going to talk about it.
No, let's not go there because we all have stories about shitting in our pants.
No, let's not talk shit.
No, I'm gonna go there.
Let us can you identify the personality traits that are not serving you right now in growing your business, that are maybe keeping you stuck, that are stopping you, that are holding you back from taking action, that might be holding you back from doing live video?
I think a personality trait for me, while everybody's dropping their own, when I got started in network marketing, I had created that personality trait of being an introvert, right? Because I, had kids and I was home and I didn't spend a lot of time building relationships outside of my family, or like my inner circle of people. And so when I started in network marketing and I was so excited to share with everyone, I didn't have that relationship even with like my neighbor, to walk across the street and be like, hey, Suze, like I just found this incredible, product that's helping me do X, Y, and Z, or I found this incredible business that's helping me make an extra $200 to $500 a month, right? Like I didn't have that relationship. And so what ended up happening, because I hadn't built those relationships with people, is I had to go back to like people I knew in high school, which was awkward and weird. It was like cold calling my warm people that I knew, but like 20 years ago. Does that make sense? Like, so it was weird because that know, like, and trust has to be there for someone to even listen to what you're saying. Like, if you guys have ever been there where you're like sending a message. In fact, I sent a message to one of my good friends that, I said, hey, I need your phone number. And he said, I'm married, right? Like, that's how funny it is.
Yeah.
So I'm an introvert and it's been stretching me to do video and be out there. Let's see. It's not helpful to have some of these personality traits, right? Like if we're not intentionally building our personality the way we want to be, then it's definitely not helpful. So
the cool aha moment that I got when I was learning about all these personality traits, right, is that we have all of them within us. Like we were born with the blueprint or whatever. It's in our DNA, all of it, to be shy, to be outgoing, to be a badass, to be a loser, to be a whatever, whatever, whatever. All of it within every single person. It's like every single seed. And it's up to you which one of those traits you want to grow, right? You want to flourish, and which one you might want to put to bed for a while or whatever you call it. But because, we formed some major personality traits when we were so young, right? And we've been carrying them for like 40 years, 50 years, 60 years. And it seems like, oh my God, it's impossible to undo all of that. But it actually is possible. And you can choose, okay, today I'm going to be a badass. Today I'm going to think like a badass. Today I'm going to act like a badass. Today I'm going to make decisions as badass me would make. Today I'm going to talk to people like I'm a badass. Today I'm going to talk to myself like I'm a badass. Yeah, in the beginning it's going to be uncomfortable because you haven't done it probably in 40 years. So you don't even remember how it feels, but deep inside of you, you know how it feels, right? You had moments in your life where you felt like a badass, you talk like a badass, and you thought like a badass. You just need to go back to those memories, to those feelings, and start more, flourishing them and growing them and working on them. It's an everyday work. It's not going to happen
Mhm.
overnight, right? So every day you need to nurture that personality. I don't want to say new personality trait because you already have it. That personality trait that you want to grow. So I hope that makes sense to you. And I wanted to share a little bit. So for me, one personality trait that actually serves me and served me many, many times is to be stubborn and to be resilient. My husband doesn't like it that much, but
Mine doesn't either.
I don't mind having it. And now I look back like where it came from, because I also very shy and introverted. Like, how did I become, so resilient and stubborn? And a couple of weeks ago, I shared a reel with the beaches that came from somebody else. How life, because I grew up in Soviet Union, and a lot of you guys have no idea what it's like. So there was a reel showing how basically our childhood life looked like, how our apartment building looked like, elevator and the buttons inside the elevator, our playgrounds, our schools, they were all identical. Like, no kidding. Whatever was in that reel, that's how my life looked like. And if you just look at that playground, you will know why we are the way we are, because it's depressing, and we had to be that way in order to survive. Like, there was no other way any human being can survive that environment. You have to have certain, traits. And that's where they came from. And actually, they have served me in life many, many times. So it's not going away.
Yeah, so a lot of things that you've picked up are good, right? Like they're going to serve you, but it depends on, like you said, what you want to do with that moving
Yeah.
forward. I love this one right here that somebody's put on the comments below. People pleasing.
Yeah.
This is something that
Yes. This
I
is one
have
of the
definitely
major ones
struggled
for
with.
everyone.
For everyone, right? You people pleasing. And a lot of that comes from, you want to please your parents and please the adults around you. And so as you grow, that habit is just to people please, which means that you end up picking up a lot of monkeys and putting them on your back that aren't yours. And I am famous for this one. That's one of my coaches told me. He's like, you're really good at picking up other people's monkeys and then wondering why in the hell you are as crazy as you are, right? He's like, they're not even your monkeys. Put them down. Leave those monkeys there. They're not your monkeys to pick up. So it's important to just understand and identify some of these traits
Mhm.
that you have and what's not serving you and what's serving you and what you can do about it. So
One of my mentors told me about people pleasing, and it kind of offended me in the beginning. That's people pleasing is effing selfish. That was exact language. And I was like, I thought it was good, right? To please people. But they broke it down for me why it's selfish. It was also kind of like huge aha moment for me. We choose to please people, right? Because we want to fit in, we want to be liked, and we don't want a conflict. So we sacrifice our own, whatever it is, worthiness or whatever, our own desires and our own goals
Happiness,
in
peace.
order not to stand out, in order not to create conflict, to keep everything kind of like smooth and going, I don't know, below the radar. So people pleasing is selfish because you created that pattern because of yourself. It's like you'd rather be invisible and do things that you're doing for other people instead of expressing your needs, expressing your whatever, like basically expressing your needs. You put your needs back down there and you try to do that so you stay invisible, basically. That's where people pleasing coming from. And I was like, actually, that makes sense. And we do it till now. And we think, oh, people pleasing is good, right? I'm serving other people. But you actually, if you're doing it instead of expressing your needs and your real, intentions, that's actually selfish. So,
Yeah.
It's a
and
different
it's not
perspective
easy
of
to get
looking
rid
at
of
it.
it. It's not easy.
Mhm.
I still do it because it's comfortable.
Yeah, and some of us with the people pleasing, I guess maybe it would be called something different, but we want to fix it for everyone. Fix like a fixer. Like that's
Mhm.
what I feel like. Like I was just
Mm.
talking to my husband yesterday. I said, now that school's out, I feel like poof, what do you need? Like I'm like the genie. Poof, what do you need? Poof, what do you need? Like, every time a kid comes or, someone calls or they need this or, whatever, I'm just like the genie. Poof, what do you need? And I fix it. Right.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
but it's
Mhm.
not, I mean, you could definitely go down a rabbit hole with yourself as far and with other people doing those kind of things. So,
Sometimes
Yeah.
we do. I think people come to you or kids come to you because they used to, right? Mom is the go-to person to fix things. So they go to you and you are kind of happy to do those things for them because it's like it's in our also DNA to be caretakers.
mhm.
But once we do those things also instead of taking care of ourselves, that's when it comes um, not serving us anymore. But we women do that all the time, right? We
Constantly.
want
Mhm.
to help others. We want to take care of them. We want to fix things. I had a really good thought and it slipped away, but it will come back. It will come back.
Instead of helping people to become self what's the word?
Oh,
Self.
I remember what it was. So we become so like independent, right? I gonna do it. I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna fix it because somewhere, somehow, we don't have trust in others.
Mhm.
We
Yeah.
became so hyper independent because we don't trust others. And that's one of my major traits. I don't trust
Mine too.
anyone. And it also
Mhm.
came from where I grew up. Like you couldn't trust anyone. Like, so yeah.
Yeah, and this is a really great point. Fixing takes away other people's opportunities to level up. This could be in your family. This could be, in your team. So as a leader, like when you're taking away and fixing it for everyone, the one of the problems is number one, you become the tool. So you like are always, it's kind of like you are the one they go to for everything for your team and they don't level up. I remember throwing Kat and Fran both out of the nest when they were on my team, and I saw that they had those leadership qualities, and I knew that they could do it. Their belief just wasn't where it needed to be, and I'm like, okay, I threw them both out of the nest, and I said, all right, you're
Go
gonna
learn
figure
how to
this out.
swim.
And
And
Fly.
that's how a leader does it, right? And I knew how to do that, not because I'm amazing or whatever, right? But because my mentors and my people above me threw me out of the nest, right? So it's
But
that.
even, when you do that for kids, when you do that for your kids and actually, let them figure things out and let them become, what's the word I'm looking for? Self-reliant, no, it's not reliant, I can't think of the words. My brain is dead today. But when it builds the belief, it builds their belief in themselves. It builds their sense of worth. It builds their sense of worthiness. It builds their confidence in themselves because they think, oh, okay, I can do this on my own. and teaches them to become, what?
Self-confident. Is
Yeah,
that what you're
I don't
looking
know
for?
the word I'm looking for, but it's just it won't come. But anyway, yeah, I have no brain today.
No brain. It's late
No,
for Fran already. I'm just
no,
kidding.
it's
I
not.
don't even know what time
Not
it is.
really, but yeah.
So
Anyway,
I want to mention that we have the whole module on this subject inside our Unleash Your Inner Badass training, where we cover, I think there's 5 major personality traits. What are their cons and pros, or what you can work on, and how you can actually work on to get rid of the traits that don't serve you, and how to grow the ones that actually do. So if you are not part of our Unleash Your Inner Badass community yet, and you want to check it out, we actually just released a new course. It's a small course. So Unleash Your Inner Badass, it's a bigger program that's like a 6 month long program. But we created a smaller course for those who don't have a lot of time, but want to learn how to, navigate in life and stop failing and start winning, whether it's, comes to your business, your life in general, money, relationships, um, how to stop failing and start winning. And this course is only like $13, but
Mhm.
for a limited time. So if you want the link to check out the course, what do we want them to drop in the comments? Link. That's simple enough. Drop word link in the comments, and we will send you a link to check the
Grab that. Yeah.
smaller version of Unleash Your Inner Badass. And if you will feel like you're ready to take a higher level, the next step, we have a whole big 6 months program for you available as well.
We will see you all next week.